When Amazon finally made the decision and they finally cut the check to remove the Broccoli family from the James Bond IP, they had some really strong momentum behind them, announcing Denis Villeneuve, a French-Canadian Christopher Nolan, was going to be directing the next installment for them. Stephen Knight of Peaky Blinders fame was going to be penning the script. Like, okay, cool, you got some actual talent behind this. Maybe Amazon's not going to be bitch-made after all, but then you decide to make an unforced error of epic proportions by getting rid of something so integral to James Bond to appeal to who exactly? Like, this was a stunt that I seen heading into last weekend that it boggled the mind. It was one of the dumbest things that they could have done, because I don't know who this appeals to. Amazon removes guns from James Bond images, that they had up on their streaming service, and then they ended up bringing them back after fan backlash over the weekend. So it's like, what? Okay, first of all, what would implore you to do that to begin with? Like, outside of the Aston Martin, the shaken non-stirred martini, the Walther PPK is synonymous with Bond in so much as the 007 branding is up there. Like, what were you thinking? Because, okay, here were the posters. Here were the posters that were going around. Okay, you got ones from different eras, and I don't even like these mock-ups to begin with, but okay, the Dr. No one, like, obviously you can tell that there's supposed to be a gun there, but that looks somewhat natural. Roger Moore looks like he heard a weird noise over his fence and he's just peering over for a better look. Then, of course, Daniel Craig, Spectre, he's wearing a holster and he doesn't have a gun. But the worst one, like, that's just got to be Pierce Brosnan's, okay? That's just got to be GoldenEye right there, where he just looks like he doesn't know whether or not he wants to flip off the camera or if he wants to tell him that they're a jerk off. Like, what the fuck? That they're so trash. And then just taking a look at the rest of them, I mean, the rest of them look somewhere in between shitty Chat GPT rehashes or just incomplete slop. What are you doing? Like, you guys know, and you can see in the background, like, I got the Skyfall poster that's back there. And yeah, like, not a single James Bond poster comes to mind where he doesn't have a gun. Like that just looks natural, okay? And comparing it to this, it's like, who are you trying to appeal to with this? But yes, for a company that spent nearly $8.5 billion acquiring MGM, and when this deal went through, we did a video on it, and it's like, yeah, okay, cool, you get access to Rocky, that's all well and good. There's a few other things under that banner as well, some bifurcated Tolkien rights. Make that situation even more messed up than it is right now. But the big reason to do this is to get access to Bond. It's one of those franchises that, well, thanks to No Time to Die, definitely has some damage done to it. But it's theoretically an evergreen franchise that will continue to print money. It is, of course, unless Amazon does what Amazon does best, and this right here is a perfect example, and letting you know that they can't even get out of their own way for a surefire hit. But yes, over the weekend, Amazon Prime Video managed to shoot itself, and pun very much intended, squarely in the foot by quietly scrubbing guns from James Bond promotional artwork images, only to restore them after massive public outcry. Fans first noticed something was off when scrolling through Amazon Prime Video. Yes, the James Bond listings. Iconic posters for Dr. No, GoldenEye, and Spectre suddenly appeared without the series' most recognizable accessory, Bond's Walther PPK. It's like, oh, we didn't even focus on it. It would have been hilarious. It's like, okay, cool. Where's Man with the Golden Gun? Like, did they even censor out the name Gun? No, they just have Roger Moore crossing his arms. Like, fucking whatever, man. But yes, the edits were immediately obvious. Sean Connery's famous pose with a silenced pistol cropped out. Yes, Roger Moore's gun hand awkwardly repositioned. Even Daniel Craig's stoic Spectre one sheet looked bizarrely incomplete. It was as if someone had decided that the world's most famous fictional spy had taken a sudden vow of pacifism. Exactly, he's just scoping out a good angle to stand in front of a missile. Within hours, the gunless Bond images went viral. Reddit threads exploded, X lit up with memes, and entertainment outlets like Deadline and Guardian confirmed that Amazon had indeed replaced traditional Bond imagery with sanitized, digitally altered versions. The outrage wasn't about politics, it was about authenticity. Exactly. Because who is this for? It makes no sense. Bond has carried a firearm on every mission since 1962. The tuxedo, the martini, and the gun are all part of the same visual identity. A gun is even part of the franchise's iconic logo. Yeah, shit, duh. You can see it's right there. Like, what are we doing? Remove one and you strip away, part of what makes the character special. But yes, like it says here, Amazon did in fact, come quietly to their senses, but what prompted them to do this to begin with? Writer Scott McCrae said it was nothing less than cultural vandalism. Others argued that it was not a good sign for where the Bond franchise could be headed under Amazon MGM Studios, which recently installed Denis Villeneuve as the next 007 director. Of course, where there's an internet oddity, a meme usually follows. Blah, blah, blah. Gunless Bond was no exception. But all in all, at time of writing, and even right now, the Bond thumbnails on Prime Video UK now contain action shots from the movies themselves, though they still do not picture the super spy brandishing a firearm. In one particular still from Skyfall, Craig's gun was again cropped out of view. So what the fuck are they doing? You buy a franchise. You go through years of negotiations and headaches with the Broccoli family in order to wrestle away complete and total creative control, only to do this, to tank your investment. Didn't you already get rid of Jennifer Sulky, one of the biggest anchors around your guys' creative necks, only to install another one? Because if you tank James Bond, which everybody kind of already thought that they would, but maybe the Villeneuve hire, and to a lesser extent the Knight hiring, would assuage some fears. This is one of the worst unforced errors I have seen in a very long time. Nobody wants a gunless Bond. Nobody wants a sober Bond. You would have some apologists for a black Bond or a female Bond, and if the writing was good, it could make sense. I would hate it with every fiber of my being, but you might be able to convince me. I'm not sold on the idea, but just will work with the premise right now. But if you take away a gun from a super spy, you fundamentally change who the character is. And so this is one of the first things that Amazon is doing to rewrite the history of Bond. It is definitely not a good sign of things to come. And yeah, the rumor of Aaron Pierre being the next Bond, I'd imagine that could be the next confirmed announcement. Or maybe they're just doing all of this stuff thinking that they can get away with it because they're getting ready and they're just waiting for Henry Cavill's recovery to take place so they can bring him out on stage and announce he's finally going to be James Bond and one of Hollywood's easiest W's to take off the board. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.